Welcome to a moment of intriguing introspection beyond the realms of fear, hesitancy, and doubt. A deep dive into the questions of the ages shared with the courage that may challenge perception, yet teases open the expansive depth of conscious awareness. This is a rare and unique moment in our collective history. And beyond all sense of dogma, I am Master Lady 𝐼𝐻, promising to call forward the essence of all that you are. Join me as I offer the latest self-ascension revelations with supportive wisdom. And why not remember that peace, love, and joy are your birthright? So this is the moment to bring your hand to your heart and to give yourself the gift of relaxing into a deep breath with a wondrous exhale. I look forward to joining you right now in another episode of Expanding Consciousness. Well, namaste everyone, and welcome to Expanding Consciousness. If this is your first time joining me at Expanding Consciousness, welcome. And if this is your millionth time, I'm so glad you're here, because this is a library of consciousness itself. Please take time to scroll through all of the shows that have been posted, all of the broadcasts, all of the podcasts, because every one of them absolutely sits on its own. And there are basic consciousness principles, basic things that you need to be aware of that you will find as you go through this library. One of the things that consciously is happening within this program is that every single one of these programs has been encoded with an eternal time sequencing, so that no matter when you watch it, no matter where you're watching it, no matter what dimensionality you may be existing in when you find this, I honor you and I bless you. And in this moment, I thank you for being on the planet, for saying yes to this life, for staying and for moving through the fear that is trying to do every single thing it can to stop you from being the best you that you are. So today we're talking about fear, and we are going head on into this. We are just going right in, and we're going way beyond all of those acronyms that you have heard for years. Everybody has one or another, the most popular being false emotions appearing real. And that is absolutely true. Yet fear itself is not a false energy. Fear itself is what rules the planetary thought body of this experience of potentiality. We, the collective we, have come together through the experience of this world of carrying a body of form, through informed awareness. And through that, we are aware that the way that we have chosen, the way that we are experimenting, the hypothesis that we are collectively playing out in our conscious awareness is, how do we expand when fear is the predominant energy? Now, really breathe that in, because if fear is the predominant energy, then how do you break through? And how does consciousness assist with that? And this is a really important component of the fear conversation, as I would call it. And so let's dive right in. First and foremost, if you're here because you are like, yeah, help me get out of my fear, I'm so glad you showed up. And if you're here because you're just curious, I'm so glad you showed up. But if you're here because you're on the other side of fear and you're looking for ways that may assist others to move through, take notes. And so why are we here today? Well, let's just bring our hands to our heart. How did humanity arrive? How did we all arrive at this moment where fear is the predominant energy throughout the entire planetary thought body? Well, perhaps we should begin with what is, what is the planetary thought body? The planetary thought body is made up of all of the energy of every single being, not just humans, animals, or absolutely anything that can release an energy that is attributed to any form of a feeling or experience goes into the planetary thought body. So imagine that the planetary thought body is like this beautiful big circle that encompasses the earth, filled with every thought you've ever let go of, every interaction you've ever had, and that's all collectively there. So now imagine that planetary thought body, because all energy is neutral, that planetary thought body is the sum total of everything that has ever been sloughed off, left behind, put out, collectively called forward. Some people refer to this as group think. Group think is actually a result of the planetary thought body, because it is from the planetary thought body that we have that essence, that essential energy. And again, in this realm of experience, that essential energy is fear. So I want you to really breathe that in right now. Just really breathe that in, that if you are navigating from the moment you are born, you are navigating fear. Consider the way birth happens on this planet. While certainly we are becoming much more aware and really making strides that are extraordinary for natural birth and birth that can be done without any form of trauma, the far-reaching effects of all of our collective births have already cemented into the planetary thought body. So consider, I would suspect that most of you listening were born in a fairly typical way, meaning that you came out of the womb and immediately felt the fear of leaving the womb. You felt the fear of separation. You felt the fear of hunger. You felt the fear of hot or cold. You felt the fear of touch or no touch. Consider all of those things, all of those aspects of the human experience flooding into you from the very minute you begin. Now, take that energy and move that energy into an interactive society with belief systems and paradigms and all the other things that come in through your chosen sacred sequence of incarnation. And as all of that is coming in, the entire time, without fail, even while you're in the womb, because of the mother, you are interacting with the planetary thought body. Now, really breathe that in. So the planetary thought body is the number one influencer in this entire experience of being informed awareness. So as the number one influencer, if fear is the number one influencer, if you can become aware of that, and if you can become aware of all of the things that you are doing because of fear, then and only then can you not only walk through the fear, but you have the ability to honestly break free of it. Fear is nothing more than an alignment with the planetary thought body that seeks to keep you in fear, because when you are afraid, and really bring your hands to your heart and receive this, because it's important to know, when you are afraid, you will give away your power. And I want you to really breathe that. How often have you thought, I just want somebody else to do this. I just want somebody else to answer this. I just need somebody else to come. What's the word? Rescue me. It is the essence of victim consciousness. In order for victim consciousness to exist, fear must be the predominant energy. So, given that fear is the predominant energy of our planetary thought body, given that you are walking through fear all the time, all the time, you cannot not walk through fear if you are in this planetary existence. Knowing those paradigms and knowing those belief systems, we take a little turn, don't we? And that's really important to understand, is that when we take that little turn, when we move from those paradigms and those belief systems, what we're really saying is, I am willing to grow. I am willing to go beyond. I am willing to do more, be more, see more, and pay attention. So the planetary thought body, as it tries to control that which we are, calls us. It calls us to say, pay attention. And this is why I want you to go to 𝐟𝐸𝐵𝐾.com. I want you to learn all about the self-ascension practices, and then I want you to learn and use the container practice. So you definitely want to go look for the container practice at 𝐟𝐸𝐵𝐾.com, because what does this container practice do? Well, what it does is it teaches you how to clear this energy field so that you are no longer contributing fear to the planetary thought body. And that is one simple, easy way where you can begin to actually clear the fear that is most likely not even yours. Chances are that you are repeating the fears of others simply because of the attachment. And this is simply because of the planetary thought body. And so now, as you're moving through that, as you understand the planetary thought body, what I want to invite you to do is to go deeper. I want you to look at yourself. And right now, pick a fear. Pick any fear, whatever it is. It's most likely a basic fear because those all sit in the victim consciousness circle, right? Victim, rescuer, abuser. I am either playing the victim, I am either looking for a rescuer, or I am out absolutely acting as if I am the abuser. As we circle through all of that all the time, what we also do is remember that we are not static. We are moving. We are constantly in motion. And as we are in motion, sometimes we walk down steps and sometimes we walk up steps. Sometimes we walk in circles and sometimes we walk in straight lines. But all of that, every one of those beautiful gifts that we have while we are moving through our fear, give us the opportunity to remember, to find a new perspective. And when you find that new perspective, the gift is to let go of the energy of doubt. Because when we are in the energy of doubt, we are in the energy of self-sabotage, and doubt is an energy birthed of fear. So bring your hands to your heart right now and consider that. Consider that whatever you are afraid of is coming most likely from an illusionary experience that is doing its best to stop your mastery. That's why you're here right now. That's why you connected with this episode, because you know that it's an illusion. Now, you might be going through a moment that you feel is depressing, or you might be going through a moment where you feel sad, or you might be going through a moment where you're feeling so many other things. However, the gift is to remember that fear is only a reaction to an illusion that is inviting you to find you. So whenever you are afraid, the first thing I invite you to do is bring a hand to your heart and stop and acknowledge the fear, because that fear is gripping you and often paralyzing you from moving forward to your best life. And then it's to give yourself the opportunity, if you need to look at it at its worst and then go into the depth of its best. Your fear is protecting you. Your fear is trying to keep you safe. Your fear is saying, I don't know what to do. It is a call to clarity. Moving through fear happens when our clarity comes so forward with such great crystalline presence that the clarity itself sees the fear as the illusion it is. Have you ever had a great idea? Have you ever had a wonderful moment of inspiration and thought, yes, 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 but then you didn't follow through? That was fear. Have you been repeating a cycle or a pattern? That's fear. Fear is the energy that is circular, just like the planetary thought body. Fear is the energy that's trying to keep you stuck. Fear is the energy that wants to keep you trapped. Fear is the energy that says, hey, stay here in density. I want you, meaning the fear speaking, I want you to think you're less than. I want you to feel you don't deserve. I want you to feel all these other things because then I am safe. And the I that I'm talking about is the fear. For fear to actually rule you means you must give it your power. And when you are afraid, it is an easy thing to do because of the call and the pull of the victim experience. Now, imagine yourself free from that for 1 second, even just for a second. How do you become free from that? How do you let that go? How do you not let the fear rule you? How do you not let your mind go into this constant loop? Well, one of the ways is to distract it. You want to distract the mind. So how do you distract the mind? Distract it with your vision. And you might say to me, well, Kira, I don't know what my vision is. Okay, then start there. Distract it by letting the mind know that you're moving forward and that you appreciate its fear and you appreciate it's trying to protect you. However, you, the I, is here. I am as you are. Holding I am as you are is the energy that keeps you in the cycle of absolute productivity through the law of instantaneous manifestation. Fear cuts flow. Fear prevents us from moving forward. Fear invites us to give it its power. And then fear is a hungry little animal, right? Some people might refer to it as the devil because fear in many ways has that energy. But what happens when the devil seeks your soul? Well, that's when fear turns into terror. So imagine that you are not only afraid, you are so afraid that terror is actually moving through you, that panic is moving through you. Those are the beware moments, because those are the moments when the fear is asking for your soul. And those are the moments where many will give it away. And when you give away your soul because you are afraid, there is no going back. It means that you are forever stuck in a cycle of despair and depression and constant interaction with that which is just repeating over and over again. And yet the good news, and there's always good news, is that at any point when that cycle becomes too intense, and often it's because it is, you can break free. You can break free. Bring a hand to your heart. Just bring one hand to your heart and then breathe in a deep 𝐸 breath, going in with the nose through 𝐸, exhaling, and really bring that in. I mean, really bring that energy in. And as you do, as you bring that energy into you, as you feel that, as you relax it out, love yourself. You are eternal love. No matter what you think you've done or have been or have created, let go of it. Inside of you, that exists. And by letting go of that which you have done or believe you have done or causes you to believe you don't deserve or keeps you in fear, by releasing that does not mean that there are not ramifications for it. Often releasing it gives us the strength and the courage to make the amends and move forward in the ways that balance the energy. However, doing it from a state of beating yourself up or causing yourself even more harm or damage to your own fear is only a way to entrap into the fear. Freedom from fear begins when you bring a hand to your heart and give yourself permission to love you again, to feel safe with you again. You know how to do that because it has always been there. You are that gift. You are that essence. You are that energy. Fear is a very tricky little angel to navigate because it's not real. Yet it is the pervasive thought body of this experience of conscious awareness in form, having a life experience. So take a breath for a moment. And how does all that sound? How's your fear feeling? How are you feeling in this moment as I'm sharing all of this with you? What are you noticing inside of yourself? And more importantly, what are you noticing in your brain? Because the brain, remember, sits at that 6 o'clock position of the 5 medicines. And in that, what happens is that it absolutely tries to seek to control all that you are. At the end of the day, fear is control. It controls you, and it actually motivates you. Fear can become your greatest motivator if you are simply allowing it to be so. When you make a decision, are you making it from the joy-based insight of the future and what that decision will call forward, or are you making that decision from fear that's based on past actions, thereby causing you to make the same decisions, thereby repeating the same actions, thereby increasing the cycle of the fear loop, which calls forward more victim, rescuer, and abuser energy? Take a moment and really breathe that in. I want you to really breathe that in, really bring that into your heart. So as you're breathing that in, and as you're experiencing that, and as you're moving through that in your heart, I invite you to really pay attention to your most recent decisions. A, have they brought you joy? B, are you acting out on them? And C, what results are they showing you? Because the key is that when you see results from your decisions that are moving you forward into other decisions, which they all do, it's just a question of are you choosing fear or joy, through the choice of conscious awareness, which is being able to look at yourself through these decisions, the freedom begins. Conscious awareness is the key to freedom. Conscious awareness, the key to freedom. Because in your conscious awareness, fear cannot exist because fear is only of this realm. It is why we dance with it. It is fear that breeds polarity. It is fear that breeds everything else. And remember, fear plus anger equals hate. So whenever you see hate, what you know is there's fear and anger. Whenever you see anger, you know that there is fear. And whenever you see fear, you know there's the potentiality of anger and hate. So when you see the three of these moving together, and you're able to lift, and I really encourage you to lift. It's like, come up here to the mountain, come here, TosaBlueMountain.com, come right here and get the life shift that will propel you. When you go up to the top and you see the big view, the fear releases and the beauty and the joy and the divine exquisite nature of everything that is around you. Fear is merely seeking to keep you disconnected because it knows, fear knows that if you become connected, fear knows if you gaze at it, it has no chance. So it's basically a self-preserving entity, right? It's just like that that house guest you can't get rid of because it just keeps hanging out over and over again, and you keep listening to the same story instead of standing up and saying, you know what? I'm really clear that I'm good being here and that it's time for you to move forward and be where you need to be, but you don't need to be with me. Fear ultimately is a choice. It is a choice that we make with every breath. It is a choice that we make with every situation. It is a choice we make with every single day that we are in this form, in this field of potentiality on this beautiful planet. Because we are navigating, living with, and moving through a planetary thought body of fear. Fear wants your power. Fear wants you terrified so it can also reclaim your soul. Because the more you give your soul to the fear-based experience, the more you're trapped into this specific cycle. And many have been trapped in this specific cycle for many, 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 many eons and revolutions of lifetimes. We are at a unique moment. And I know you know that, or you wouldn't be here. But we are at a unique moment because we are all right now moving through the Tria Prima alchemy itself, reforming, moving from mercury, sulfur, salt into our cosmic presence, unifying. And in that power of unification, fear knows it does not have a seat at the table. If I have your hand and you have mine, and I have another's hand and they have mine, and we each hold each other's hand, then the fear dissolves in the true power of the tribe, in the power of coming forward in the energy of sincerity and love and presence, of owning that we can and are capable of releasing greed, jealousy, and competition. All of those energies are only able to survive in fear. That's the only way they survive, is in fear. So why not let the fear go? Why not let the fear release? Why not say yes to all that you are? To know that the illusion that has been seeking to rob you of your power is staring in front of you right now saying, hey, you're strong. You can do this. Your inspiration is already there. Take a minute right now, grab a pen and a paper, sit down. And as soon as we're complete, I want you to right now sit down and write down everything you love. Just, what do I love? What do I love? And focus at your love list whenever fear comes forward. Love will dissolve your fear. And the sacred container practice found at 𝐟𝐸𝐵𝐿 will also help you to consciously clear the body of the Velcro with the planetary thought body of fear so that your power remains with you. You are the ultimate truth detector. You know. You always have. The seeds of your greatness, your joy, your peace are all in front of you. They're within you. And the fear is merely a young child that is running wild saying, show me why, show me how powerful you are. Well, you know what? You're ready to do that. You're ready to do that. This is the moment that humanity has been building toward. And this is why consciousness is being recorded. This is why I'm leaving this library, this encyclopedia, so that long after this body of form is no longer on this planet, you who are finding this right now have discovered an encyclopedia to let you know you are not crazy. You are not alone. And whatever fear, no matter what it is, no matter how dire it seems, know that it is temporary and that is simply energy inviting you to remember who you are. How do you move through fear? By remembering who you are, by laughing. Clear out those energy centers, go get the sacred container practice. And then my final moment for you, dance. No matter how afraid you are, put on music. Put on the music that makes you feel the happiest. Put on something that maybe you haven't heard in years, something you love. Put it on, dance to it. Let the joy come forward and transmute that victim, abuser, and rescuer into the teacher, the healer, and the mentor that you are and have always been. I am Master Lady 𝐼𝐸𝐴, loving you and appreciating you, and so grateful that we are collectively moving through this planetary thought body as together we say, let's transcend the fear and move into the creation. I love you with all my heart, and I look forward to being with you again really soon. Namaste. Thank you for joining me on Expanding Consciousness. Learn more about the Yoga of Self-Ascension at 𝐟𝐨𝐫𝐿.com and make sure you're subscribed to YouTube official 𝐟𝐨𝐵𝐿. Remember, you are the gift. I love you and look forward to being with you again. Namaste.